Day 2, and we are 2 o'clock Central Time. All of you know Central Time. And we have all sorts of guests here learning everything about ThinkGlobal Flight. I have Navigator Fred here with me today. Hi to Navigator Fred. We have very special guests today. We have Rich from the National Weather Service and Scott from the National Weather Service. Our topic today is weather. So weather, Navigator Fred.
What?
When we fly Lulu, how do we know the weather when we want to fly from California to Florida?
Well, it's very simple. You just pick up the phone and you dial 1-800-WEATHER BRIEF, and a nice man or woman comes on the phone and you say, I'm flying from California to Florida, and they give you all the weather and all the information that you need to fly from one part of the United States all the way over to another part of the United States. And if you don't have a phone, but you have access to a computer, then you just get on the internet. And you go on the internet and say, I want to fly from California to Florida, and it tells the computer, and the computer comes out with all this information, and it gives you METARs and TAFs and all the charts that you need to figure out where the wind is blowing, and where the highs and lows and the cold fronts and the warm fronts. And then you go to the Then you go and look at the winds aloft to figure out how the winds are going to be going. And so when we fly around the world, all we got to do is dial 1-800-WEATHER BRIEF, and we'll get that information. Isn't that what happened when you were in India?
I don't want to disappoint you, Navigator Fred. Not that easy. Thank you, Navigator Fred. Not quite that easy. Different in every country. Some of them are the same. India. When I flew through India, you go to the air traffic control tower. Did you know that, Rich?
No, I didn't know that.
Did you know that, Scott?
No.
Navigator Fred.
What?
India, you go to the air traffic control tower, you file your flight plan, and you check the weather. Trinidad. Have you ever been to Trinidad?
No, but you have.
Trinidad, very similar to the United States. You can call up, you can go into the meteorological office, you can look on your computer. Rich, what do you do in the Weather Service?
What do we do? The National Weather Service makes weather forecasts and warnings for all of the United States, also its territories, and then for Alaska and Hawaii. We also provide some support for data buoys that are out in the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean.
Buoys?
Buoys.
I'll be darned.
We have girls and we have buoys. And we also provide tsunami warning services for other countries like in Southeast Asia after the tsunami. But some of the chief things that we do, besides providing the general weather forecast, is providing aviation weather services to pilots.
Very good, thank you, Rich. Scott,
Yes.
do you think it might be different in India as it is in Florida for the weather?
I would think so, yes.
You think so? Let's ask our young people here. We have Shaylee. Shaylee, you are, what's your title? Help me, Shaylee.
KidCaster.
KidCaster. Really? Shaylee is KidCaster. And we have Mateo. And we have David. Thank you. Mateo. What do you think the weather would be like in California compared to maybe Egypt? Do you think it's different? Yes, that's right, Mateo. How about you, David? Do you think it'd be different?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea, we'll get Rich and Scott's help here, why it might be different? Let's use Florida and California. Florida's flat, isn't it, David? Mateo, Colorado has lots of mountains.
Yep.
That's right. How do you think the weather is going to be different in Florida from California? We are flying from Florida up to Colorado to California.
Well, from California to Colorado, it would be kind of similar. I mean, it'd be different because it's a long ways, but Colorado it has a high elevation.
Very good. Very
High
good.
clouds.
Very good. That's excellent. You agree with that, Mateo? Well, we want to thank Rick, Scott. Do you have anything else to add? You want to talk about the mountains?
Well, California and Egypt do have similar weather in certain places, like Death Valley, California, when in the summertime is often 120 degrees, which is just like the deserts of Egypt. The difference between the two is near the shoreline, where California has the cold Pacific Ocean next to it, so it keeps the cities like San Diego and Los Angeles and San Francisco nice and cool in the summertime, and it keeps them warm in the winter. Egypt doesn't have much in the way of cool water surrounding it, and it also doesn't have the big mountains that California has. So California has a more variety of weather, but it does have some desert-like weather like Egypt.
Thank you so much, Rich. And I'll tell you a secret. You're going to be seeing some pretty spectacular things on our Winds Aloft contest coming up. National Weather Service has an incredible app coming out, and watch that ThinkGlobalFlight.org for the latest and greatest on the Winds Aloft contest. You want to be one of the winners that has Navigator Fred and Captain Judy and Lulu come visit you as one of the winners. So visit ThinkGlobalFlight.org, check out the education tab. If you want to see this live and all our live throughout this week and each month, check that SCC Live TV tab there, ThinkGlobalFlight.org. We'll see all of you tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central Time. Thank you, Rich.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Kidcaster Shaley. Always Navigator Fred that keeps Captain Judy straight. Mateo and David. Let's give them a hand.